Hello, greetings, and salutations. My name is Mary Diddle and today I am going to introduce you to the Professional Marble Hockey League. The Professional Marble Hockey League is one of 5 sports predictor leagues that make up the Professional Marble Sports League. For more details about the Professional Marble Sports League, please check out our video. But now back to the purpose of this video, and that is hockey. The ultimate goal of any team in the Professional Marble Hockey League is to win the Gretzky Cup. We will cover more about the Gretzky Cup a little later in the video. This video will be divided into 4 areas. First, we will introduce you to the league, its conferences, divisions, and teams. Second part will cover how the regular season will play out to include the schedule, both this year and future years, standings, and the coveted George Washington Cup. Part 3 will explain how the games will play out, and Part 4 will go how the playoffs will be played out. So, let's jump into it. The league is divided into 2 separate conferences and each conference has 2 divisions. The 2 conferences and divisions are all named after some of the most influential members of the hockey world. The first conference is the Jean Beliveau Conference, which is made up of the Bobby Orr and Gordie Howe division. Under the Bobby Orr division are the following teams: Buffalo Cavalry, Boston Minutemen, Detroit Phoenix, Florida Everglades, Montreal Once Nation, Ottawa Centurions, Tampa Thunder, and Toronto Frontiersmen. The other half of the Jean Beliveau Conference is the Gordie Howe division, and these are the 8 teams that make up this division: Carolina Vortex, Columbus Cannon, Long Island Sea Dogs, Manhattan Commandos, New Jersey Demons, Philadelphia Liberty, Pittsburgh Steelworkers, and the Washington Eagles. This concludes the Jean Beliveau Conference, but we have only introduced half of the teams since we still have the Doug Harvey Conference. The Doug Harvey Conference starts with the Mario Lemieux division and its 8 teams: Chicago Grizzlies, Colorado Blizzard, Dallas Longhorns, Minnesota Lumberjacks, Nashville Smilodon, St. Louis Ragtime, Utah Elephantids, and the Winnipeg Yeti. Of course, there is an opposing division, and that would be the 8 teams that make up the Maurice Richard division. These teams are Anaheim Prospectors, Calgary Fire, Edmonton Derricks, Las Vegas Aces, Los Angeles Royals, San Jose Hammerheads, Seattle Titans, and finally, the Vancouver Orcas. Now we know the teams, let's review how the schedule looks. There are 3 different types of games played by each team, and each one plays a role in the standings. Each team will play against each of the other teams within their division twice during the season. Once within the first 7 games and then again in the last 7 games. After the first 7 games of the season, the next 8 games will be against teams from the other division within the conference. The 8 games in between these conference games and the second set of divisional games will be against the teams from one of the divisions of the other conference. It is important to note at this time that next season the non-conference games will alternate to the other division. For the inaugural season, the Bobby Orr division teams will play against the Mario Lemieux division, while the Gordie Howe division teams will play against the Maurice Richard division teams. Next season, the Bobby Orr division teams will play against the Gordie Howe division teams, while the Mario Lemieux division teams will play against the Maurice Richard division teams. A slight difference between our mirrored Professional Hockey League and us is that we will utilize a 3-point system for our ranking. If a team wins the game in regulation, then it will receive 3 points in the standings. A team that wins a game but requires overtime to earn that win will forfeit 1 point and receive 2 points in the standings. A team that loses the game but does so in overtime will receive the point that was forfeited by the winning team, and if the losing team lost in regulation play will receive no points for the game. Of course, these standing points are the primary determination of standings. But in the event of a tie, this is where the non-divisional games will play a factor. Factor 1 is the record against the other conference teams. If the conference record is the same, then the record against the rest of the league will be used. If it happens that there are 2 or more teams still tied after all this, then the best away record overall will be used, and if after that there is still a tie, then it will break down to the difference in goals scored. And if by a pure chance there is still a tie, then a 2-game playoff will take place. If there is a tie after the 2 games, then point differential will be used, and if that still does not work, another 2-game series will be conducted, and this will continue until there is a winner. This method will only be used if the teams involved ultimately affect the playoffs. So we have been talking about scores and points, so this would be a great time to discuss how the individual games will be played. An 18-inch by 24-inch plinko board has been created. 4 marbles from each team will be released from the top of the board, and they will work their way down the board, bouncing off the obstacles along the way. For the hockey season, a collection bin at the bottom of the track will have 3 collection points. The outside points have no point value, but the collection point in the middle is worth a single point. Each marble landing in the center bin will count as a point for a max total of 4 points. All marbles will be collected and rerun down the course for the second half of the game. If both teams are tied after the second run, then a marble from each team will be chosen and run down the course. This overtime run will continue until one team outscores the other. Now we know how the games are going to be run and understand the standings and the regular season. It is now time to talk about what everybody really wants to know. First, the winner of each division will be awarded a division championship cup from their respective divisions. These cups are worth an extra 5 points toward their Founders Cup points. A video explaining the Founders Cup will be released soon, so keep an eye out for that. There is also a George Washington Cup that will be presented to the team that has the best regular season record. In addition to bragging rights, this cup will also bring an additional 5 points toward the Founders Cup. The top 2 teams in each division will play a best-of-7 game series to identify which team from the division will move on to the conference championship round. In the championship round, the 2 winning teams from the divisional round will compete in a best-of-7 series to crown the conference champion. The conference champion will receive the Conference Championship Cup, once again worth 5 points towards the Founders Cup, and a bid to the Wayne Gretzky Championship. The Wayne Gretzky Championship will be a best-of-7 series set with the winner taking home the Wayne Gretzky Cup, along with the standard 5-point bonus, as well as bragging rights for the next year. As a humorous side note, there is also the dreaded Kibos Cup, which is handed out to the team with the worst record during the regular season. As sad as it sounds to be last, the receiving team will receive a single point toward the Founders Cup. For the videos, the divisional round will be divided into 2 parts. Each part will have 1 playoff series from each conference. The conference playoff round and the Gretzky Cup round will be played out in a single video. So I believe I have now covered everything that one needs to know to watch and enjoy the Professional Marble Hockey League. So this is Mary Diddle, and until next time, remember to keep rolling and follow the gravity to glory. Thank you.